The ATO gives you 28 days after each quarter to pay super. Miss this deadline and you'll face the super guarantee charge, which is a complete recalculation of your super obligations, plus interest, plus admin fees. And if you don't pay the charge, you're looking at penalties of up to 200%. So in this video, I'll show you the exact components of the charge, how the ATO calculates each part, what you need to report, when statements are due, and your new payment obligations. Let's break it down. If you're late paying your employee's super guarantee, you'll need to calculate the super guarantee charge and then complete and lodge a superannuation guarantee charge statement. If you have paid late directly to the super fund, you may be able to apply the late payment offset if you meet certain conditions. You can use the super guarantee charge statement and calculator tool to help you calculate the super guarantee charge. Employers are required by law to lodge a superannuation guarantee charge statement and are liable for the super guarantee charge if they either don't pay the right amount of super guarantee contributions to a complying super fund by the due date, or don't meet their choice of fund obligations by 1. Providing their eligible employees with a choice of super fund, or 2. Requesting a stapled super fund for employees who don't provide a choice. The super guarantee charge has 3 components. 1. Super guarantee shortfall amounts calculated on your employee's salary or wages, not ordinary time earnings. 2. Nominal interest on those amounts, which is currently 10%. And 3. An administration fee of $20 per employee per quarter. To report and rectify the missed payment, you'll need to lodge a superannuation guarantee charge statement and pay the super guarantee charge to the ATO by the due date. Due dates for super guarantee charge and super guarantee payments fall on specific dates for each quarter. The super guarantee charge and statement are due 1 calendar month after the super guarantee is due. For example, for quarter 3, super guarantee contributions are to be paid to a complying super fund by 28th of April. If you miss paying super guarantee to a complying super fund by the 28th of April, you have until the 28th of May to pay the super guarantee charge and lodge the superannuation guarantee charge statement with the ATO. To complete the superannuation guarantee charge statement, you will need to calculate what the super guarantee charge is. The easiest option is to use this tool. But you can also work it out manually by calculating the shortfall amount plus the interest and administrative fees. Let's have a look at each of these components of the calculation, starting with the shortfall. The shortfall amount is calculated using salary or wages, not ordinary time earnings. So, let's say you have 12 employees who each earn $18,000 per quarter in wages. You missed the payment for quarter 2, which was due 28th of January 2023. You now have until 28th of February 2024 to pay the super guarantee charge. To calculate the shortfall amount of the charge, you calculate the total wages for your 12 employees. You then multiply that answer by the super guarantee rate, which was 11% for that financial year. Next, you have to work out the nominal interest amount. This is calculated from the first day of the quarter that the super guarantee was not paid until the lodgement day. The lodgement day is the later of either the 28th day of the second month following the end of the relevant quarter, the due date, or the day you lodge the superannuation guarantee charge statement. The calculation is super guarantee shortfall divided by the number of days in the year multiplied by the number of days from the start of the quarter until the lodgement day multiplied again by 10%. Continuing from the previous example, if you lodge your super guarantee statement on the 22nd of February, but since the later of the 2 dates is 28th of February 2024, you calculate the number of days from 1st of October 2023 up to but not including the 20th of February 2024. This is 150 days. So, the calculation would look like this. That means the nominal interest amount you're liable to pay is $976.44. The last part of the calculation is the administration fee. This is calculated by multiplying $20 by the number of employees who experienced a shortfall. That would mean the admin fee in this example would be $240. The superannuation guarantee charge is then calculated by adding the 3 amounts together. So you'd be liable to pay $24,976.44. Let me show you what you would have saved if you paid your super guarantee on time. During quarter 2, each of your employees earned $18,000 in salary and wages. For each employee, $1,200 of their total salary or wages is paid for overtime. As overtime doesn't form part of ordinary time earnings, each employee's ordinary time earnings for the quarter are $16,800. So, the The total ordinary time earnings for your 12 employees is at $201,600. If you multiply that by the super guarantee rate for the quarter, which was 11%, you'd get $22,176. So, the super guarantee charge adds an extra $2,800 and you won't be able to claim a tax deduction. So it's easy to see the benefits of just making sure you pay on time. Once you pay the super guarantee charge to the ATO, it'll then be distributed to the employee's complying super funds, less the administration fee. Remember, you also have to complete the statement form. There are a few other components to the form, so I'd recommend you use the ATO's calculator tool rather than doing manual calculations to ensure you're getting the correct amount. You can access the link in the description below. If you don't pay the super guarantee charge and submit the charge statement for a missed quarter by the due date, you'll be liable for a penalty of up to 200% of the amount of the super guarantee charge. There are also a range of penalties if you don't meet your super guarantee obligations in general, including the choice liability penalty, director penalties, and penalties for making false or misleading statements, undertaking arrangements designed to avoid your obligations, and failing to keep records. The choice liability penalty will apply if you don't comply with your choice of fund requirements. For example, if you haven't given your employee a standard choice form within the required timeframe, have paid their super to a complying fund but not the super fund they chose, charged them a fee for implementing their choice of fund, or contributed to a fund without requesting a stapled super fund to a fund that is not the stapled super fund notified by the Commissioner. If you're not familiar with these obligations, make sure to check out part 4 of this series. And then, if the director of a company fails to meet their super guarantee charge liability in full by the due date, they automatically become personally liable for a penalty equal to the unpaid amount. The ATO will issue a director penalty notice, which enables them to start legal proceedings to recover the penalty. Even without issuing a notice, the penalty can be collected by other means, for example, by withholding a tax refund. The penalty will be waived if your company pays the outstanding amount at any time. Before I wrap up this series, I just want to touch on keeping records. I mentioned earlier that you could face penalties for not keeping accurate records, so this is important. You must keep records that show how much super guarantee you paid for each employee and how it was calculated, that you have offered each eligible employee a choice of super fund, and that you've made super contributions for each eligible employee. You can use whatever method you choose to keep these records, but the records must be written in English or in a format that can be easily accessed and converted into written English. You must keep the records for 5 years, and if you keep electronic records, software must be available to access older floppy disks, CDs, and computer records. Even if you use a clearinghouse to distribute super to your employees' super funds, you're still responsible for keeping adequate records of super guarantee payments. That wraps up this series. Now that you have a better understanding of your obligations, I'd like to just mention that managing it doesn't have to be complicated. You can actually automate it all using payroll software. So you won't have to worry about deadlines, thresholds, or eligibility rules. There's a software that can take care of it all. And I've left a link below to book a free demo so that we can show you exactly how.